most advisors specialize in just one area. So they'll say, I'm an investment person, or they'll say, I specialize in doing insurance, or all their deal is all about retirement planning, and that's what they focus on. And so what we do is different, is that we're bringing it all together. And so the impact of a person who has their planning done on a cross-disciplinary basis, it's not just focused on one thing, the difference is substantial. In fact, in many cases, could be millions of dollars of benefit to them and their heirs, depending on the situation of the client. So I had a kind of a story, an experience I had back in 1994. I actually called an attorney. I was collaborating with the attorney to try to have an understanding of how he felt we should title something, how we should have ownership for this. So I contacted the attorney and I introduced myself, and when I said, I'm calling about Dr. and Mrs. So-and-so, and I'd like to know how they should hold title on their insurance policy. It happened to be a specific thing with an insurance contract. And there was complete silence on the other end of the phone. I was like, are you still there? Hello? And his response was, who are you? Okay, I'm David Stone. You are the estate planning attorney for Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so, right? And he's like, yeah, I'm their attorney. I said, okay. And then I kind of went through the specifics as I just described a little bit. And so I was just waiting for him to collaborate with me, give me his recommendation and see how I felt about it, and then write it down and then coordinate and then get that done and then move forward. He said something different though. He said, would you have lunch with me? And I said, oh, okay. So I'm 2 years out of MBA school. I'm meeting with this attorney, high-powered attorney, very successful attorney. And I'm like, dang, I'm kind of worried about this lunch appointment, but I went, we talked about the client, and we identified that this is exactly the way he was recommending that we have the beneficiaries and the ownership set up for this life insurance contract that we're doing for the client, that we did it. And that's exactly the way I was very excited with it. Perfect, that's exactly the way I would have thought that you wanted to get it done. And I said, well, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm getting up to leave. And he says, no, hang on a second. You're probably wondering why I wanted to have this meeting with you. And I said, well, I thought maybe you wanted me to refer clients to you. I don't know. I don't know. That's what I thought. And he goes, well, that would be nice, but that's not why I wanted to meet with you. I said, okay. And he looks at me and he goes, tell me what you do. And I explained kind of what I do. And I didn't draw the financial planning wheel of fortune at that time, but I described kind of what my experience has been in working with and collaborating with other professionals to bring the planning together on a cross-disciplinary basis. And he says, okay, tell me how you're paid. And then so I kind of explained how I was paid. And he says, I want you to know something. In the 13 years that I've been an estate planning attorney, you are the first financial planner, insurance agent, real estate agent who's ever proactively contacted me and asked me what I thought about my clients in this specific thing, like as relating to ownership and beneficiaries. We're always trying to track people down and make sure they get it done right, but you're the one that reached out to me. So I said, wow, I thought everybody was doing that. And he says, no, everybody's not doing that. I said, well, that's kind of interesting. And so then he said to me, well, what about me? And I said, I'm not sure I understand. What do you mean, what about you? And he says, will you be my advisor? Will you take care of me and my family? And he became a client. And it's from that experience that I thought, wow, I thought the whole world was doing this. So I began to just make that an emphasis of coordinating and collaborating with other professionals, specifically the CPA and the attorney, but other professionals that are impacted or clients are impacted by the relationship that you have with them. And that's where the dream of this personal CFO idea came up, and why I felt it was so important to collaborate